And now to the allies of Iran. I speak, of course, of that crap bucket that is Syria. And the fact that, according to administration officials, Obama is planning on calling for President Bashar al-Assad to step down. Well, that solves the problem. Let's go, guys. Kidding. Diplomatic pressure, along with futile attempts to actually engage the regime, have done little to stop an ever-escalating body count of 1,700 peaceful protesters killed since March. Obama's last step-down demand was directed at Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi, and, well, we're still waiting for him to get back to us on that. I've been checking my voicemail. Says an opposition leader of the UN's even lamer inaction, quote, "It was less than what we had actually expected. Less than what the international community should do. 18 weeks and we still pay the price of the Security Council. No sanctions, no referral of Assad to the International Criminal Court. Perhaps the only thing that can fix Syria is a feline that can fix anything. Mechanic Cat, what say you?"
Explain what's going on.
What are you doing? Watch out. Go away.
Is this your kitten?
Shut up. You know what? Ever since AAA cut back on their employees, they're sending out these really lame kittens.
That kid doesn't even have health care.
No,
they took it away from him.
It's terrible because if that car moves, bye-bye Mechanic Cat. And then it's going to be really sad. KT, the Treasury Department is preparing a new set of sanctions against Syria. Has this ever worked, really? Do we have good examples?
You know, so the problem with Syria is that we've shot our wad. You know, we would in Libya. Well,
I'm sorry.
That's a red eye first.
It's okay.
We got that in writing, and she's gonna, no, there's nothing like Assad. What is he gonna do?
Yeah.
You know, look at Gaddafi, right? We said we're gonna get Gaddafi. We send it. We bomb Gaddafi. Gaddafi's having a blast.
Now,
he's Lawrence of Arabia in robes.
Okay, there you go. Is short of military, I mean, is this calling for military intervention?
No, and we don't have any military to intervene with. With Syria, the problem is it's Iran's foothold in the region. So it is not in our interest to keep Syria there, nor Assad in the way it is. I think we ought to try to topple him. That doesn't mean we send in the troops. That means we talk, for example, to his defense minister, his military guys, and say, don't you think it's time to get rid of this guy?
Yeah.
What we do is go to Syria's neighbors, particularly Turkey. The foreign minister of Turkey was just in Syria yesterday, and say, how can we help you to help get rid of these guys? You know, and so there are other things, sort of indirect things that we can do. The other thing is, you know, we talked about Twitter and the rioting and looting in London. Well, the Syrian government has shut down their ability to Twitter. Why don't we help them with their technology so they can do the Arab Spring thing?
That's a good point. That's a good point. Remy, what do you have to say about this?
I think, as always, I think KT is 100% right. One of the biggest problems with what's happening in Syria is that there's no real communication. You know, the people there don't have access to the outside world, and we're not actually seeing a lot of what's happening. And if, in fact, we believe is happening, that thousands of innocent men, women, and children are being slaughtered. You know, there need to be criminal charges in the international courts, and he needs to be held accountable for these things.
Joe, why don't we take him out?
Well, first of all, I didn't know we were going to be talking about wad shooting on tonight's show. I had no idea. I think it might be easier there because he's, Assad, first of all, the weakest chin out of all the dictators.
That's true.
Very weak chin. He's actually from a religious group, I believe, called the Eye-08-10-11-C, which are a very small minority in the country. So I hate to say, use a little religious tension in that area, but that might be a good way to get him out. Unfortunately, I don't think he has, like you said, he doesn't have the pizzazz of Gaddafi. You know, he doesn't have the wardrobe. He doesn't have the bodyguards. He's kind of a loser among dictators. I think he would be the easier one to pick off.
But here's the thing. He's not going anywhere because he looks at Egypt, where we shoved Mubarak out, and Mubarak went gracefully. He didn't stay, he didn't fight. So what's happening to Mubarak? He's on trial now for his life. So if Assad says, gee, if I leave quietly, politely, and nicely, they'll end up arresting me. And the whole argument about the International Criminal Court, it sounds good on paper, but it has exactly the opposite effect. If the International Criminal Court indicts somebody, that person, that dictator knows the minute he leaves his country, he's going to jail. So he has no escape mechanism. You really want to be able to say to him, why don't you leave and we'll help you resettle in Somalia or someplace.
Will that be believed, though? And what's the alternative? Is it to go in with our military, which we can't do that.
Bill, you've offered your apartment.
Yes.
A number of times.
Mostly because I'm lonely.
Yeah, you are. are, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
He's got a big family, though, Bill.
Huh?
He's got a big family.
and I have none. So together we can
Oh,
come
it could work.
together.
It could be
It's like the Brady Bunch.
Well, a couple things. Like, first of all, you got the Security Council condemning Gaddafi within 11 days of the uprisings, and this took 18 weeks. So the first point being that it doesn't seem like the UN cares much about Syria. Second point being was, who cares about condemnation? It does nothing condemning stuff. And the third point is, I love KT, but she's exposed my weakness as a writer. Why did I not start that segment with, have we shot our wad with Assad? I didn't do it, KT. You've exposed the flaw in the ointment, the fly in the ointment. I'm exposing my own bad writing.
All right. Do you have a comment on the show? Email us. It's redeye@foxnews.com. And to leave a voicemail on my direct line, 212-462-5050. Still to come, the halftime report from TV's Andy Levy. I hate him.
Tonight's halftime report is sponsored by Cupcakes, the small single-serving treat baked in a cup-like mold, often covered with icing for even more sweetness. Thanks, Cupcakes.